Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, guys. Today, let's ask this question. When someone tells you, the scholars said, you see, this statement, the scholars have said, you have to be skeptical of that because who are the scholars? Do you mean your scholars or the scholars? Is there any notion like that? That the scholars? And this is not even like between differing like Shia and Sunni. I'm talking about even in Sunni, the Sunnis. There's this notion that some people want to say the scholars. There's no the scholars. It's probably your own scholar. And if you want to know this, just ask yourself. I saw a list. Someone was asking the question, who are the most trusted scholars that someone can listen to right now? And there's a list that person gave. You see that list, whatever the list is, will show you your bias. Will show you it's probably your scholars, not necessarily the scholars. Okay, so there's this notion of the scholars have unanimously said. Which scholars have unanimously said? Is it your own particular scholars? And why should I listen to that? Why should I listen to what your scholars have said? Okay, for example, if I'm Ashari, can someone, a Salafi, quote me what the scholars have unanimously agreed to, which is from a Salafi madhab paradigm? Of course, it's not possible. So the scholar, imagine there's this notion, okay, who is the best scholar right now? Who is the best scholar? If you're Salafi, you probably have a list. And whoever is on top of your list, whoever it is, that person is not agreed upon. It might sound shocking to you. That person, whoever it is not agreed upon. Because there's clear differences between even the Sunnis. And these differences are there. You cannot just ignore it. Okay, just like, okay, who is Ahlul Sunnah? Different groups, they try to exclude themselves from Ahlul Sunnah. I don't know, like, this thing is always funny to me. By the way, just some history here. I used to be Salafi, okay? And I thought we were the only Ahlul Sunnah, okay? I never thought anyone else could be Ahlul Sunnah. And then I found out, like, wait, the other guys are calling themselves Ahlul Sunnah too. So who is really Ahlul Sunnah? And then if you study, like, Islamic history, then you see, like, Ahlul Sunnah are just like Sunnis. No, like, generically. Because the people of the Sunnah and just like that, you have people, all these Imam Ahmad and all those people, and all the people that came after them, like that. Everyone wants to ascribe themselves to the Ahlul Sunnah stuff, but now the Salafis, we thought, like, I used to think we were the only ones until I found other people. You see, like, this question, I'm sure if you're Salafi, someone would have told you the Ash'ari, they are not Ahlul Sunnah, that kind of thing, and then you realize, wait, the Ash'ari, they say they are Ahlul Sunnah too, and they kick you guys out, that you guys have deviated. So why am I even doing this video? I'm just doing this video that some things are very simplistic. When someone tells you the scholars have said something, especially on issues that most Muslims agree on many things, like, for example, Allah, we believe in Allah, we believe in the Prophet, all these things we agree on all these things. But when things start getting deeper, don't ever, if someone tells you the scholars have said, don't ever agree with that. Go and do your own study and you realize there are many Sunni scholars that disagree with that position. So it's not something agreed upon per se. And even the notion of ijma. See, guys, I'm just giving you many things right now. The whole notion of ijma even is something questionable. Okay, the whole notion of ijma is not something like especially on things that are not foundational. Okay, things that are not foundational, or things that we are disputing about. You cannot just quote ijma and you expect people to just follow your ijma. No, because the ijma that you are setting, you have selected a particular group of scholars in history that are in line with your own line of thinking, and then you say that is ijma. Okay, and it's not necessarily the case. And this argument will always be there. See, I don't think that Ash'ari and the Athari would ever end unless there's some kind of political power that just crushes the other camp, which used to happen before in the past, and it didn't work well. Like, there were times when, for example, the Karamis had power, and then they started crushing the Ash'ari, and they killed Ibn Furak. They killed one of the Ash'ari scholars that time. They poisoned him, according to the history anyway. So in the past, when people used to have power, okay, let's say the government comes in and it chooses the Karamis now. The Karamis are people that used to take things literally, okay? And so they were against the Ash'ari, of course. So there was one fanatic leader among them. I forgot his name. I think it's even the Karami. The Karam, that name is named after that guy. So he started attacking the Ash'ari. He tried to crush them from the city. but it didn't work out well because now you have Asha'ira everywhere. And when the Asha'ira got power too, it's always like that, guys. It's always like that. So what I'm saying is that the divide between us, I don't think it will ever end, because we are using two different methodologies and we'll never come to the same conclusion. And the only thing left now is just rhetoric. People will just go for rhetoric and just start insulting themselves and saying this one is not orthodox, this one is orthodox, this one is deviation, this one is irrational. You just go to that level. And if you are just a normal guy or a student of knowledge, don't get yourself immersed in this kind of stuff, because no one will win. No one can win at the end. No one can win. It's just about the whole rhetoric. No one's going to win. This guy, you listen to one guy, it seems like, have you ever gone to a debate? Whenever you see two good debaters, when they are talking, the moment one guy is talking, everything seems to make sense until the next guy comes. And then when he's talking to, everything seems to make sense. The only time when you get to see them really is when during the cross section. Is it cross section? The time when they stop giving like a lecture, they start asking themselves questions. That's when you really see like, okay, which position is more. But really, at the end of the day, most people, 90% of the people, they just follow. They will just follow one camp against the other camp. They think they have done it rationally, but not really. You're just more inclined to those kind of people, those particular group of scholars, and you follow them. You're not really trying to be objective. People think they are trying to be objective, but when you get down to it, you see like they are not trying to be objective. They're just doing taqlid. They're just following their scholars and some people even said like, you know what? If I'm doing the taqlid of taqlid of some kind of scholars is fine, and then you shouldn't condemn other people doing taqlid of their own scholars too. That's the problem. That's when you have to be consistent. But the whole point of this video is to show you that, see, scholars, your own scholar might not be my own scholar. Your own scholar can be a deviant to another person's scholar. So that's why I said, don't let us focus on which scholar said something. Let's focus on the idea. What is the idea that he's talking about? How do you get out of this Ash'ari after the whole thing? How do you get out of that problem or the whole issue? Let's talk about ideas. Let's stop the polemics. Let's stop insulting people. It's not going to get us anywhere. Let us talk about ideas. Which one makes sense? Reason is the reason. Let's bring it to the table without any polemics. If we can do that, I believe the people that are following us will actually see which one is true. If there's anything that is true. If there's really the objective truth between the two, the only way out is to stop doing polemics and just talk, bring your idea, and let's see which one makes more sense. And let the people choose. Don't scare them. Don't scare them with hellfire. Don't scare them that whoever done this and then this. Let people decide. And by the way, most people are not even interested in all of this, by the way. You don't find most, even me, before I knew about all this Aqeedah stuff, it took me time. All my life, I never thought about all these things. Like, I just, normal Muslim, you just pray. You're thinking about, hey, I'm going to pray. You make wudu. You never talk about all these things. It's only those guys. There's one, is he Yasir Qadi? He used to say like, these people are, that we are interested in all this Aqeedah stuff, that we are, is it geeks? We are like geeks. Like you, that you're very serious about this whole thing. Most people just believe in God and the prophets, and they just pray and they do their business. They don't have time to be thinking about Aqeedah and what is analogical predication, what is all these technical terms. They don't. You just give them what to read and they will just read it. Okay? And by the way, they actually, creed is actually something like this. And if you learn from Christian history, there's one thing I learned. Before us, there used to be creeds also. So the Nicene Creed. Do you think the common Christians knew anything about all this? No. The normal Christians didn't know anything about all this Nicene Creed. It's the scholars that were discussing this. After they've discussed it and they argued with themselves and they disagreed, then whoever has the most number, or whoever you can gather the most number of scholars, there will not be this kind of statement that they will not give out. Then everybody must comply to that statement. If you don't comply, you are kicked out. Now, think about this. Who are the people they are kicking out? The scholars. The normal people, they don't know which one is, they've never gone through these whole arguments, which one is coherent or no. They just follow. So, is always academic. It's always about academic. It's not about your faith or something like this. And yeah, so I just wanted to put that. Let me see what you guys think about this. So see you guys later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.